Hello, everyone, and welcome back to the Cup Council. How are we all? Hopefully, all of you are having a fantastic Thursday, wherever you are around the world. And welcome back to a breaking Liverpool transfer news show for you guys this evening. And as you can probably see by the thumbnail and the title, yes, it is true. Liverpool are potentially monitoring a January transfer for Khvicha Kvaratskhelia. Again, don't ask me to pronounce his first name, otherwise I will completely butcher his name. But we are joined by Jack from the Anfield Road TV. Jack, how are we? Hope you're doing well.
I'm buzzing, lads, especially off this news, lads. He's a lad with a lot of quality, and I think, obviously, as we will speak about tonight, mate, I think he's certainly the type of calibre and quality, really, that I think I'd put him on the bracket of if we could get him into the football club. And there's, obviously, we will speak about, obviously, Mavrashvili, agent Mavrashvili, getting that little picture up in a little second anyway. But I think it would signal massive intent from Liverpool. There's been, obviously, as we will speak about tonight, the last 12 months, he's been in and out of the football. He's wanting his agents. There's been a lot of rumours linking him with Paris Saint-Germain, mate. But yeah, if we can bring him in, mate, I put him on the level, really, of how important he would be for Liverpool, potentially with Van Dijk and Alisson. I know that's massive shoes, but I think he's only 23 years old. I think he could certainly make a massive impact to Liverpool if he does come in. He's such a top player. Top.
Yeah. No, 100%. And again, guys, let us know your guys' thoughts in the comments. I think, of course, everybody has been shocked by the news, of course, that did break from David Ornstein. Of course, we'll go through and have a look at everything that's come out over the last hour or so, hour plus so, of course. But this was the original post and tweet from David Ornstein himself, confirming the news that Liverpool could consider a move to sign Khvicha Kvaratskhelia if he leaves Napoli in January. Liverpool not actively seeking a winger, but admire the 23-year-old, obviously alert to his situation, plus may contend if become market opportunity. Obviously, PSG and Chelsea also among those interested clubs in Khvicha Kvaratskhelia, which, of course, I know everybody straight away goes, oh, Chelsea are involved, but, of course, Chelsea are going to be...
with everyone.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. In particular, but of course, obviously, more news then broke, of course, from that article piece as well, as you can see, obviously taken from Anfield Sector, saying that Liverpool are attentive to Khvicha Kvaratskhelia situation, despite being well stocked in the wide attacking areas. As things stand, it may take a significant departure to create a space for an addition, obviously taken away from Napoli's interest in Chiesa. And of course, just before we came on, of course, there was more breaking news from Paul Joyce himself as well on the Khvicha Kvaratskhelia news, obviously echoing the same news, of course, from David Ornstein, saying that Liverpool are monitoring the situation of Napoli winger Khvicha Kvaratskhelia and may decide to act if the Georgia star looks to leave this month. And of course, if you guys have not seen, like as Jack mentioned earlier on, I clicked the wrong button.
Good, lad.
As I clicked the wrong button, there you go. Obviously, Mamadashvili putting a photo on his Twitter account, of course, of them to celebrate, and of course, when they did qualify for the European Championships as well. So, Jack, taking things, of course, everything into consideration, and of course, obviously, it does look like Liverpool would have to have a huge departure in that sense to bring you into the football club. What are your thoughts on Khvicha Kvaratskhelia coming into the club? Do you think it will happen? Because for me, I'm kind of like, okay, yeah, great. It is obviously great being linked to an amazing player in Khvicha Kvaratskhelia, but first thing, Liverpool have other areas of the pitch where we need additions to, and secondly, certainly with, especially of course, David Ornstein putting out this news, and now Paul Joyce, it does feel like Liverpool are pretty much going ahead with it, which you would probably think there is a departure coming up for Liverpool.
Yeah, and I think with the opportunity, a bit opportunistic in regards to obviously Lucho Diaz when we signed him. Tottenham expressed an interest in Lucho, and I think Liverpool jumped at the opportunity to sign him. And I think it's a similar one with Kvaratskhelia, really, mate, if I'm being honest. He's a lad with a lot of potential, and certainly, obviously, he's proved, obviously, already in the Serie A, winning Napoli their first title. And was it the first ever? No, the first time in a while.
First time in a while, I think it was.
Yes, certainly. So it was massive for them. Obviously, him and Osimhen, absolutely instrumental in terms of their development that year. And obviously, Conte coming into Napoli, They need a lot of money. We know Italian clubs are very limited in terms of what they can spend. So obviously, if we did bring him in, would require a sizable transfer fee. Only got 2 years left on his current deal. But as we spoke about his agents at the top of the show, very publicly in regards to last 12 months, really, more or less advertising his clients to absolutely every club in European football, because a player with that ability will continuously be getting linked with top teams, and certainly you can understand why Liverpool would be in regards. But I think there was reports today, Connor, that I don't know if you got that graph, in regards to Harvey Elliott potentially leaving. So in that regard, that's where a bit of the transfer money, and that's where the spot in the team might possibly open up. I know you're going to mention a couple of, not to jump ahead, but mention other players that potentially could leave the club. Arne Slot, these aren't his players, mate. These aren't his players. He's here. He's going to be constantly assessing this squad. Would have learned so much over the last 2 victories as well, certainly since he's been at the football club, Arne. He's here to win, and certainly if Skelly did come in, he's not going to be wasting any time in terms of stamping his authority. And certainly, obviously the sporting director as well coming in and start getting his fair signing into the football club as well.
Yeah, no, absolutely, 100%. I think I do think there are telling signs with the squad already. Like, I think Slot wants adjusting or wants his players in. I think, of course, you mentioned Harvey Elliott there. I think the whole news has been, of course, today, before obviously the breaking news with Khvicha Kvaratskhelia, obviously with Harvey, and would he potentially be leaving the football club as well. But of course, we'll get onto that in a bit of a moment, of course. But again, let us know your guys' thoughts. Of course, obviously the 6 people in right now, of course, hit the like buttons, hit the subscribe buttons if you're new to the channel. Anyway, of course, obviously big up Con, big up Ozan as well. Hope you're doing well. Big up Jack on Arisa as well, says Ozan. Can't let him go to Chelsea. Well, to be fair, I think if we are going to lose him out to anyone, I think it will be PSG. Straight off the bat, I think they've done the most of the groundwork. I think throughout, supposedly the wage that they've offered him at the moment is, I think, around 150k a week, which, considering the fact we're paying Chiesa 120k a week, it's pretty night and day in that sense. When you look at it,
easy could be done. Like, really,
exactly. Well, there was a report that did come out, I think it was yesterday or the day before, suggesting if Khvicha Kvaratskhelia did leave Napoli, they would go all in for Chiesa. So whether or not there's potential swap deal in that sense,
like player plus cash, I think that would massively be in favour of Napoli, even being honest, mate. Mention that just on my short, then, mate. I think it would be a very top talent, certainly very highly regarded in Italy, Chiesa, prior to his move to Liverpool, of course. And I think Chiesa, if he was given the opportunity to go to the team top of Serie A, obviously he'd like to see his career develop at Liverpool. But let's be honest, if Chiesa doesn't start against Accrington or doesn't get any minutes, I think massive writings on the wall there in that regard. Yeah, it's and I think with this, it's interesting, as we know, Con, and we know with all these deals and especially publications, when news gets brought to the attention of us, when we comment on it as well, these deals have probably been in the pipeline for a couple of weeks. It's just a matter of it coming to the press really this evening. Like, these deals could be very further down the road than what is obviously being indicated over the last 24 hours. So fingers crossed.
No, I absolutely agree, 100%. Also, since bring him in and let Chiesa go back to the Serie A on loan, Con. I think it would be a permanent. I think it would be a permanent. I don't think Liverpool are gonna. Again, obviously, we got linked a couple of weeks back, didn't we? To, of course, Ryan Rzeski, and I think at the time everyone was like, I can't really understand that signing. If we was to do it, obviously we've just signed Chiesa, but maybe Liverpool have gone and looked at it, and obviously I think a lot of us understood, I think at the start of the season, that Chiesa would need time because he hasn't had a pre-season, and obviously he's coming back from injuries. But I think we're now into January, and the supposed rumours at the moment that he is still struggling. And you look at it like that and you go, look, we're trying to win a league title. We're trying to win Champions Leagues. You looked against Spurs, last night. We looked knackered. Mo Salah looked knackered. He deserves a rest. You'd want to rely on a brand new signing coming in and giving Mo Salah time off. And I think, as you mentioned, Jack, if that's the case where we are sat here at 12 o'clock Saturday morning, and Federico Chiesa's not on the right wing against Accrington,
And
you do
Elliot
have
as
to
well.
ask.
Or
Yeah,
Nunes as
yeah.
well. I'll put in that bracket
Mm-hmm.
because there's been opportunity, and even last night again, Nunes. We want him to but do amazing. We want all of our players to do well. But sure, there's going to be a case. The penny has to drop eventually with all these players that are getting opportunities at Liverpool. Where, as you alluded to, Con, within a title challenge, we're top of the Champions League table. We were wanting to win the Champions League. Got an amazing opportunity this season. And if the opportunity is there, lads, if Arsenal and City do drop off a bit more in this season, we need to be there. We need to be top of this Premier League table. We need to not pass up this opportunity. It's an amazing opportunity. And these lads do need help, though, Con. How many times have we been here over the last couple of years on all of our transfer windows? Every Liverpool fan, when you've been speaking to your mate or when you've been going a game or whatnot, Liverpool, we deserve the best in class, of course. That's what we done in the 70s and 80s. Our squad depth in those periods was an absolute joke. And this season, we need to build, not just this season, but in the next couple of years as well. Whatever happens with the freelance,
we
with the
need to get back,
contract,
don't we? We
yeah,
need
we
to
need to
get
get back.
we need to get back to it, because like you look at you mentioned it perfectly. Manchester City, look at them at the moment. They're speaking to Frankfurt for Omar Marmoush
and a centre half as well. That's looking to spend 40-50 million on. So they're not wasting any time.
But then again, I think the other argument will be, though, again, contracts. Like I think, because I said it when the news came out, I was like, why are we being linked with him? Like, why are we being linked with Kvaratskhelia? Because it makes no sense. But I think I've just seen somebody's point on Twitter now. I think it's a really good point. Maybe Liverpool future-proof this. Maybe Liverpool, and maybe Arne Slot's gone, right, in the summer they wanted Supermendy. That was Slot's ideal number 6. Maybe he's gone and looked at the forward market and gone, oh, you know what? Maybe we do need to let go of a Darwin Núñez, for example, and bring in a Khvicha Kvaratskhelia, and that maybe might have been a future plan for the summer. Because, and we've all said it, if Liverpool can bring forward a transfer that they were going to make in the summer transfer window, do it, and then go with it. But again, if Liverpool was to bring in Kvaratskhelia and then don't bring in another forward, or don't let go of another forward, you then ask yourself, as why have we done that?
Because if Salah goes in the summer, lads, and if he does, and we've got to accept the facts, because all 3 might leave, all 3 might sign. But as you said there, Con, how frustrating has it been as a Liverpool fan, especially with the midfield, prior to McAllister and Gravenberch coming in, we were absolutely crying out for depth in regards to helping Fabinho, helping Milner, helping the lads over the last couple of years under Jurgen Klopp. Like, we were a couple of signings off from beating that Manchester City side. We weren't expecting 5-10 transfers in to come in. We're expecting help for Fabinho, help for the other lads in midfield, and it never come for like 4 or 5 transfer windows.
But I'm also expecting quality with that.
Yeah, quality.
Because now looking back, like again, I've seen many people go back at transfer windows over the last 4 or 5 years, and especially the summer of Darwin Núñez coming in. That was an awful transfer window. The fact we bought Darwin Núñez and we probably overpaid and played, we paid pretty much premium price for Darwin. You then bring in a Fabio Carvalho. You then bring in a Calvin Ramsey, and again, those transfers didn't work out. And quite clearly, again with Fabio Carvalho, there might be something else there, because of course, he hasn't worked out well at Brentford. But there's other bits and pieces where over the last couple of years, we've probably at the time gone, you know what, that's a decent signing. We've done really well. I genuinely think like the signings of McAllister, Szoboszlai, like those 2 in particular, they've been so pivotal for Liverpool's team. And we need that again, because we said it, when we were first linked with McAllister, what an amazing signing that would be. And this again with Khvicha, it could be the case where we've already seen him at Anfield, and he absolutely battered Trent that day. We've seen away to Napoli where they battered us. I think it was 4-1 in the end. Like we've seen the quality there. Of course, I know he suffered with injuries over in Italy. But again, what the player you're going to get, and also I think he's 24. Again, he could be a world beater.
Just only turned 24, I think, as well, mate. So, yeah. Quickly on that one note as well, though, Con, just looking at things, it's his ability to play on either flank as well. Because, say, if Liverpool do lose Salah at the end of the season, like, then Skelia's price goes up even more then if Liverpool come in for him as well. Like for me, Arne Slot's not wasting any time, mate. He's crucial. He's an intelligent man, and he's analysing this squad, as I said, mate, on a constant occasion. And he's probably looking around over the last 2 weeks as well. It's like what he is doing. Like he needs to bring in quality. Nunes coming off the bench, and you mentioned the transfer windows as well, just gone for other clubs. Did we sign Nunes this season? Newcastle signed Isaac.
Yeah.
And I wanted Nunes, and I hope he does well for Liverpool if he is to stay over the next couple of years. But we've got to be realistic. The penny's eventually got to drop one season.
Do you know
enough is enough.
Sorry, you know for a fact I was pushing for Liverpool to sign Darwin Nunes at the time. We both was at that Benfica game, and we were like, "Wow, who on earth is this player?" We have not got that version of Darwin Nunes at Liverpool once. I think we may have done maybe after the Newcastle game for a purple patch. I think after that game in particular, but I think over the course of his Liverpool career, Darwin Nunes hasn't been great, and for what we did have, in terms of, again, and of course that's us being spoilt in some sense in terms of having, Sadio Mane, Bobby Firmino,
always had great football, great forwards at the football club.
Yeah,
we always have.
But Darwin's he's not progressed in 3 years. I think we all said it first season. I think after a while we were like, yeah, okay, Liverpool not playing the best. You can understand it. Coming to a new country, the Premier League, trying to adapt again. Hitting the ground running from day one doesn't work for everyone, and that's fair enough. But I don't know if you're in the same bracket as me, but I love Darwin Nunes, the player. I love the person, and I love what he brings to it himself. But the player at the moment is not stepping up to the level of what we expect, and I think that needs to change.
Yeah, so I think it's a massive 6 months, mate. I think not just for Nunes, I think for a lot of individual players in that Liverpool squad, because Arne Slot's got no affiliation to these players. These aren't his players. These are Jurgen Klopp's players. And that's why I think the lads in the contract situation have got to be oh. But for me, Arne's probably give it another month, and if the lads might have already agreed to have signed for other clubs, because say if it's not come to the public domain really yet, say if one of those lads or two of those lads have already signed a pre-agreement in January, because it happens this month. That's clubs can speak to those 3 lads and say if Salah's already pre-agreed to join another club out there, then it's best that Liverpool jump on the situation now before it comes to the public domain, really, if a deal has already been struck. Because what is it, 2 months into the season, say February, March time, it could come out that Liverpool ordered. But you've got to look at it from 2 ways as well, of course. And all 3 lads, I'd love it if all 3 signed, but let's be realistic. Liverpool should not be waiting around in the transfer market. We've done that far too many times over the last couple of years, mate.
Yeah,
Jurgen Klopp could have been sitting here with a lot more titles than he would have if he was a bit more, if the club were a bit more proactive in certain areas of the squad in terms of improving that.
Well, look how many years that we spent without signing a midfielder. Like you mentioned at the top of the show, we spent years upon years upon years not acting upon, I think everyone's urges to go out and get a new midfield. We ended up having the same midfield for X amount of time. Again, our only signing for a big period of time in the midfield was Thiago. And we let go of Gini Wijnaldum for that.
And that was a risk-averse signing as well. We knew the injuries he had as well, mate. But even still, the Naby Keita deal didn't work out. The Ox was massively injured, but prior to his injury, he looked like the top player. But again, injuries permitted. We shouldn't be relying on injury. And especially when you analyse the whole Liverpool squad, there's certain players in the squad that are massively injury dependent as well. They're only an injury away from being gone from the squad for about 3-4 months. It's like we're relying on lads that have got legs made of Weetabix.
100%. Well, let me quickly read out your comments. There is something I'm going to get up as well about what Fabrizio Romano did post about Chiesa. But Big Up Andrew saying, pick up lads, has Edwards and Hughes finally found the password to the laptop? I mean, I take him. He was phenomenal for Georgia during the Euros. I mean, Mamadashvili might have a word. Yeah, of course, obviously with him posting that photo. It feels like the Szoboszlai deal or Lucho deal, in a way, history about to repeat itself, or maybe. But evening Doug as well. Hope you're doing well. Saying evening Connor and evening Jack. Doug saying, if Kvara comes in at all, it all but ends Darwin Núñez' career at Liverpool, as Cody Gakpo, Diaz, and Jota are all ahead of him. Yeah, I would agree.
Is it mad that I think we're crying out for another striker, like someone like an absolute clinical finisher, like an Isaac, or
this is what
come in and do.
Well, this is where it might be now. It might be Luis Diaz slot may view Diaz as a 9, and we may bring in we may bring in Kvara, to now replace that. That might be an option, or maybe again
plays on the right.
Yeah, well, that, or maybe you might even think like, look, maybe one of them's going in the summer. So Liverpool, like we said, with Liverpool future proofing, they was going to go and get him in the summer. Maybe that might be another option for him. But yeah, I think out of them all, I think Darwin Núñez is most likely to leave Liverpool, whether that be January or in the summer, of course. But Doug's saying he's on 40k a week in Napoli. Yeah, no, he is. Whatever will the situation, our position on top of the Prem, all for it, Con. Yeah, absolutely. I couldn't give a toss about the FA Cup or the Carabao Cup this season. We must win the Premier League, says Ozan, as well. Add the Champions League to that as well. Ozan as well, but one more Prem and one more UCL easily, Jack, as well. I think that's when we were talking about Klopp. And then Andrew saying, Khvicha Kvaratskhelia on left wing with Gakpo is great competition. Also, if Núñez went there, there's one striker I would love is Isak. I think everyone would love Alexander Isak, wouldn't they? To be fair, at the minute, he's probably the most informed striker in the world right now. But yeah, big up Hero as well, saying evening lads, 100% absolutely, as well to the Khvicha Kvaratskhelia news. So I want to quickly get up Fabrizio Romano's tweet. This is what this was earlier on today. He did retweet it, I think about half an hour after the David Ornstein report, saying that Kvaratskhelia has definitely opened the doors to a January exit. PSG are on it. Obviously, PSG favourites are in direct contact with Napoli, as revealed today. Package around 80 million euros discussed, while Kvara's camp are in talks with PSG over personal terms, progressing well as well. So I think when we talk about, of course, who is ahead in terms of Europe and in getting that signing over the line, I think for me right now, again, I probably would put it down to PSG. And then I think it obviously begs the question then, have Liverpool acted too late, if PSG have been ahead this whole time, possibly.
I don't think we've got Agent Mavrashvili at the top of the show, mate. Like, that's all. Like, it does go on, mate. Like international teammates, they do speak to each other. Like, and I'm pretty sure the lads at Liverpool, the data lads and the sporting directors have said to Mavrashvili, dropped him a little message to say, we're interested in your international teammates. Something simple like that. And if he gives them the nods to say, yeah, I'll be interested. Like, I'm certainly pretty sure Richard Hughes has WhatsApped them or like FaceTimed them or something, because it does go on. We had Fabinho in a pro clubs lobby doing dealings before this news, didn't he? So he was there playing with Liverpool players before this move. So yeah, for me, I think if you're Scalia, the opportunity and the allure of coming to the Premier League, but most importantly, I think we leapfrog both them and Chelsea. Like, even being honest, Paris Saint-Germain. Like, it's us, mate. We are the biggest club.
I think he might look at it, and depending what slot gives him, or like the reinsurances the club give him, he may go, look, I could go on and win a Premier League and Champions League this season. Like, that's obviously a big possibility. I will quickly get up as well. Anfield Sector's just tweeted from Simon Jones as well. Of course, they've just, again, Simon Jones just reiterating, of course, Liverpool willing to pounce if the opportunity to sign, obviously, Khvicha Kvaratskhelia arises as well. That's basically a few journals now have come out with this. with the same type of wording. So again, it's pretty much now, when will be news in that sense. Again, I'm not too sure.
When, not if, because it looks very promising, though, lads.
Well, we say when. I still think, we're going to need news on departures, unless maybe the club will sign in first and then maybe try and ship someone out, or maybe Chiesa could be a part of that deal, like we mentioned earlier.
I know it sounds simple, but it might be a bit of that, lads. Like if he has struggled like adapting, we're not of this to obviously the understanding of Chiesa, but I think it's a massive indicating factor that he's not been playing a lot. Really, let's be honest. He's been very limited to his minutes.
Well, looking at his statistics over the last 3 seasons, of course, obviously his first season at Napoli, he got 14 goals, 14 assists. Which, when you look at that, and considering again the attacking force he was, I think towards the second half of the season, in that season in particular, I think he only got 2 goals and 1 assist because of an injury. But even still, again, first part of the season, he was unreal. And then, of course, second season, 45 games, 11 goals, 7 assists. And then this season so far, 19 games, 5 goals, 3 assists for Napoli so far as well. So, again, when you look at it like that, I think many people will turn around and go, when you look at left wingers, I think in world football, I think we've had obviously the past generation, we've had an elite level of left wingers.
That should be our level, though, lad. Like Mane, he was the best left winger in world football at that time for a long period. I'm not having this notion of Neymar, sod him, lad. At Barca, Neymar, yes, 100%. But when he went to Paris,
PSG, Neymar,
no. But Mane, he was, and we've had a history of. We should demand, and keep on going in the 70s and 80s. We had so much squad depth. We had the best players in every position in world football. Hence why we went out and dominated English football and dominated European football to an extent as well. So for me, it's if there's a deal, the deal can be done there, certainly, mate. And yeah, 23 years old as well, Scalia. You're looking at the squad. This is where Nunes may be. Nunes is still a young forward, so there's still time on his hands. But you look at Lucho Diaz is now, he's 27, 28. You're looking at the maximum value probably of Lucho Diaz. Potentially, if Liverpool, I think he was linked with Paris Saint-Germain over the last 12 months, Lucho, potentially. I think he was, so interesting. What are you looking at there?
Yeah. No, sorry, I'm collecting data for everyone. No, sorry. No, I would agree, but it was PSG that Lucho's. Even Barcelona, I know Barcelona at the minute are of course, well, they are skint because, of course, they are trying to get the Dani Olmo situation sorted at the minute. But sorry, chat, I'm trying to get, of course, statistics up for these obviously players because for some reason DataMB doesn't.
That's right. Yeah, you check that chat. So in terms of Harvey Elliott as well, what are you anticipating with the news? Obviously, it's coming out today. Obviously, reported that Brighton and of course other Premier League clubs have expressed an interest really as well. So in Harvey Elliott, it's going to come to a point where you're looking at Curtis Jones. I've just done a show tonight as well, and everyone in the comments was saying Curtis Jones, this is where the areas of the squad can improve. You can never have enough good footballers in your team as well, though, Trust. Everyone goes, oh, where would he fit in? They will find a way into the squad if they're good enough and they're performing up to a top standards, really. Then certainly they can. Oh, yeah, you talk us through that graphic.
Yeah, sorry. So this is, of course, Cody Gakpo and Luis Diaz compared to Khvicha Kvaratskhelia. So when we talk about, of course, key passes, attacking actions, progressive carries, obviously attacking XG, obviously assist XG as well. And when you actually look at it, obviously the green is Khvicha Kvaratskhelia, and then, of course, the blue is Cody Gakpo, and Luis Diaz is the red one. But you look at it, apart from
what's that one, the bottom there, Con? What's that data?
I will quickly
scroll down.
Non-penalty goals.
Non-penalty goals.
So again, apart from non-penalty goals, everything else, Khvicha Kvaratskhelia is ahead. Obviously, he's matched on expected goals and assists with Luis Diaz, but when you look at the whole entire graphic, and again, he's played similar minutes this season
I was
to
going
them.
to say, it's bang on the money there, isn't it?
Yeah. So again, you've got a pretty accurate data there for, again, compared to, again, obviously we know it's the Serie A and the Premier League, but still, if we're talking about in terms of data wise, that is pretty accurate, in terms of, again, you're upgrading slightly in terms of, again, well, the data anyway.
And both Lucho and Gakpo have had very good seasons, like compared to the previous seasons that they've just had as well, though, mate.
Yeah.
But this excites me, this transfer, and I know it does you and everyone chat as well. Yeah, just go out there, and this for me is signals an intent to City, to Arsenal, and certainly to the rest of Europe as well in terms of the Champions League. He's not a player that would have to adapt for me if he was to come in. I think he can certainly, as long as he keeps himself fit, he can hit the ground running. And I think when you were looking at those statistics before, Con, in terms of goals and assists, very similar in terms of obviously Salah's numbers in Italy prior to moving, obviously, to Liverpool. So, I think that season where he had 14 goals, 14 assists, Skelia, it's very promising, chat. Let's hope it does ramp up this transfer in the next couple of days, really.
Yeah, we're taking I'm quickly having a look now at Mo Salah. So Mo Salah's first season at Roma, he played 42, got 15 goals, 6 assists. In the second season, he played 41, got 19 goals and 12 assists. So obviously a massive jump up in that aspect of things. But when you do look at it, and then of course, obviously what he's done at Liverpool, onwards, again, every single season from Fiorentina back 10 years ago, in that loan spell that he had, every single season has been a jump up from Mo. And you look at Khvicha, again, like we just said, just turned 24, similar to Mo. Mo come to Liverpool when he was 25. Again, could push on to that next level. But I think the only thing with this transfer that would kind of put a doubt, I think in people's mind, is of course the injuries. Because he suffered, the second half of the season. I think obviously the season that we spoke about, I think he had a bad Achilles injury that kept him in and out of Napoli's team. And again, I think since then, I know he's just come back from injury as well for Napoli. So again, when we talk about, of course, the league being so demanding, and obviously we speak about Federico Chiesa, and of course, the way he's developed to the squad, you'd think maybe
you say that though, Con. Sorry there, lad. To caveat that though, I'm looking at his statistics in terms of Skelia's injuries. This season, 2024-25, he's only missed 2 games for Napoli, if I'm correct, in this season. One was in a ligament injury. That was obviously he was out for 10 days, but he only missed 1 game in that regard. And muscle fatigue was his last one. So clearly, obviously, Napoli have played him too much. Probably Salah might get that if we keep on playing him as well. But yeah, like the biggest thing, like amount of games he's missed for Napoli in his career was obviously the 22-23 season, and he was out for 3 games, and he was only out for 17 days, and that was lumbago or something, and obviously with a bit of the flu as well. So it's interesting.
Showing,
yeah.
Ozan says, Jack, if Chiesa doesn't start against Accrington, we will.
I think we'll all get a game now.
Yeah.
You expect me and Connor or even you who's on to play up front against Accrington if Chiesa doesn't get a game. But mainly, if the deals are going ahead, you'll see them on the bench or you'll see them in the stands. And I think that's when the news might ramp up at the weekend. If both, like, even if our Elliot doesn't get a move, then potentially. So.
Yeah, no, absolutely. Well, again, obviously, until something happens, significantly, like, again, we won't really know now probably until there's a development. Again, I think, could we expect something over the weekend? Again, that could be something. But again, we would have to wait and see. Of course, obviously, the last time we signed Lucho, for example, again, we took up until transfer deadline day, obviously, I think Tottenham were going to activate, of course, that clause, when they, but then Liverpool stepped in and obviously got the job done in the end. But Red Chili says, I can believe it because FSG always sign players that are difficult to say their names. Well, be nice signing somebody, wouldn't it? Big up James well, saying if he goes to Chelsea, I'm leaving the country, as well, says James. How does Nunes compare to the players we signed? Any improvements? Sadly, I can't compare Nunes to, if you're on about the data sites, I can't compare Nunes because it goes from it goes from strikers to wingers to centre backs, defenders. So we can compare other players to other positions. Like, I think you can compare Jota with Isak, and obviously Nunes with
Isaac could absolutely batter them both.
I'll have a look in a minute now. Well, actually, to be fair, what he looks like. To be fair, but we should be trying to improve the squad, Jack. If Harvey leaves, that will make the squad worse. 100% agree.
Yeah, but if we replace Harvey with Skelia, that's an improvement.
I feel like if we lose Harvey Elliott, though, it will feel very similar to Cole Palmer leaving Man City. Because if he goes and does something amazing, then we look stupid.
Palmer was a generational talent, though, mate. With that City side, I think with Elliott, I wouldn't put him in that bracket, though.
Wouldn't you?
I'd say Palmer, top player, like top. If he continues developing, I'd love us to move for Palmer, but no chance. But Harvey Elliott, I still feel we haven't seen anything more of Harvey Elliott, mate. For what the potential that it was talked of when he was at Fulham, obviously injuries have been disappointing. But I tell you what, if Liverpool can get 30 million out of Crystal Palace for Ben Doak, if we can somehow get 35 to 50 million for Harvey Elliott, in terms of them leaving the club, both of them, that's massive. And if you bring in a Kvaratskhelia or another player on that quality as well, that for me is massively improved squad depth in those departments.
I can see that. No, I can 100% see what you mean by that. Sorry, I'm double checking something. But yeah, no, absolutely could 100% see that. And of course, obviously the news, yesterday, I think, was Crystal Palace going to come back in with a £25 million all-in bid, which, again, some reporters suggested that it was 20 with 5 in add-ons. Which, again, even still, if you're going to get 25 million or near 25 million for exactly, for Ben Doak, I think it is a quite good deal anyway. But again, let us know your guys' thoughts on Harvey. Of course, we will talk a little bit more about Harvey towards the end of the show anyway. But this will not happen. He's going to PSG as well, says Red. I would agree. I still think he would go to PSG, but I think, look, if Liverpool are involved,
massive. Like, it's PSG. Like, we're Liverpool. Like, if you're a player, you've got to put yourselves in his boots. Like, of course, you want to follow the money, but even still, money will be at Liverpool if you play well, if you're consistent. Salah's on 350 grand a week. If you get up to Salah's levels, you will get the contracts. Yeah. He's 23, and money, like, for me, if I'm Skelia, I want to be winning trophies, and coming to Liverpool gives yourself the best opportunity possible to do so.
Yeah, no, 100%. Anyway, there is 26 people in here right now as well. So if you're new, of course, hit the like button.
Don't be stingy, chat. Come on, get the likes. What are you doing?
But Damo, I'll pick up Damo as well. I think his first comment from Damo as well, saying hopefully FSG learn from previous seasons when we haven't strengthened the squad to address obvious weaknesses and promising season stalls and falls away. Yeah, like, again, I think, like, look, we've all said it, and I've said it in particular, that with Michael Edwards and Richard Hughes, you'd hope, of course, everyone's concerns, like, again, a couple of seasons back, like we said earlier on, where Liverpool's midfield needed revamping, needed adjustments. Again, the whole big rumor around Michael Edwards being very against Liverpool offering Jordan Henderson a new contract, you would think, once maybe Liverpool, with him in charge now in terms of, again, being the top guy in terms of, again, who Richard Hughes deals with, you'd think maybe we'd be more ruthless in that regard. But I think, of course, Liverpool like I've said it, and you guys will know if you're constant watchers of the channel. I think Liverpool kind of hoped Mo Salah would have had a decline in some sense to make contract negotiations better for them.
Yeah.
And instead, Mo Salah's gone, nah, I'm going to have the best season of my life.
As Jav said there,
so.
in terms of his comments as well.
Who? Sorry?
Yeah, Jav the bottom in terms of it. So, like, he's thinking Soldado and then obviously Chiesa. Interesting. So.
Could be. I think, Chiesa definitely, I think might be on the chopping block. And again, like you've mentioned all show, I think we'll definitely see on the weekend. If they're not a part of the team, then who knows where they are anyway. But we were very fast on our transfer 3 seasons ago. Now we are so slow as well. Well, we barely sign anyone these days. But if sign him, I want him as a number 10 behind Diaz and Gakpo on the left, Salah on the right. That 4 win us the Premier League. As well, to be fair, we were having a conversation off stream. Could you see Kvaratskhelia playing in the 10, similar like he does with Georgia in the national team?
Yeah, he's played there, mate. As I said, predominantly his best position is a left winger, but I think his ability on the ball from a technical point of view, he's got one of the best abilities in terms of central areas. Whether he comes off the right-hand flank, and this is why it's going to be interesting because we've experimented over the last couple of years when Lucho has played. He has played sometimes, not on all the occasions, down the right. But you do see Diaz, you see the lads rotate in those attacking areas, mate. But Skelia, he's certainly got that ability to play in that central pocket. Because you look at games like last night against Tottenham, games against United. If Szoboszlai is not available, Liverpool really lack in terms of creating in those central areas of the pitch, if I'm being honest. It has to be a moment of brilliance from either Trent, Salah, or certainly an individual strike from Gakpo, or you peel the layers back. Liverpool in those central areas. For me, we need to be creating more in and around our own penalty area, if I'm being honest. And Skelia, he's got that ability on the ball. He really thrives in those tight pockets of space. He's very direct. He's a player that will try and get at you and try and put the defenders on the back foot, really. He's very much a throwback winger, to say the least.
I think if we could sign anyone in world football, I think Liverpool would, and again, if money wasn't a problem and you could go all in and go on and get him, I think Liverpool would be all over like a Jamal Musiala or someone like a Florian Wirtz.
Well, he's a free transfer, Musiala, for me. Like is he a free transfer at the end of the season? No. Or no, or am I thinking of a team?
Kimmich, you're thinking of, I think.
Oh no, it's Kimmich. But there was links with Musiala in terms of other clubs.
It might be next season. I think he may be free agent at the minute. I think so. But again, though, even still, if Liverpool are going to change this new style of play, like we're going to in terms of, again, we're not playing heavy metal football, we're playing more progressive football, then you need to go out and sign, world-class midfielders. And if that's going to be, again, in your opinion, Musiala or Wirtz, then
he's got a year. Musiala's got a year left on his contract come at the end of the season. Musiala, these are the type of players Liverpool should be aspiring to sign. Not get them done before Manchester City go and sign X, Y, and Z. Because City, we know that this is why they've won 4 back-to-back league titles. They're active in the transfer market. Fergie, with his, sorry to say, but his United team, he was constantly evolving his squads. He was not content with just allowing other teams. Look what he done with Van Persie, the back end of his career. Fergie brought him in and they won the league. Liverpool, if Skelly is there in the market, go out there, get him into the football club, and he can potentially win you a league title just on itself. It will give you not just the fan base that we're not I know everyone jokes about Liverpool fans and all of us wanting. We want quality to come in above all else. Quality to come into the squad and give Liverpool the opportunity to be successful. I don't know, so.
Yeah, no, 100%. I agree with you. To be fair, sorry, chat. I'm just everybody did ask about the Nunes, Jota, and Isak.
This is going to be funny, this, isn't it?
You don't want to look at it. You genuinely don't want to look at it.
Yeah.
There you
Isaac.
go. Look how small Darwin Núñez's thing is. Oh no, like
Obviously,
that's
Isaac's
awful.
played over like 700 or more minutes, but even
Yeah,
still,
but still, like, all right, Jota. To be fair to Diogo Jota, because there the amount of minutes he's played, you know what, like his statistics are apart from passes into the box, and not a pass into the box. And sorry, like if you do look at everything, he has been Alexander Isak in the data department. But of course, the big problem with Diogo Jota, he can't stay fit. You know, that's the
a
big
whole other
problem.
show on its day as well, mate. Jota injury prone. Ibu's been picking up injuries at the back. Who else is injury prone in this squad?
Bloody hell, our centre arse. Like, if you want to go that,
like we
want to
are
go that back.
we're literally like a couple of injuries from this season falling off. And that's not an excuse.
Well,
It
we need
comes
centre
down to,
centre back.
again,
Like, we
squad
have
depth.
Ibu, Konate, and Van Dijk, and that's it.
Yeah, so, and yeah, just go out and do it. We've got money, man. And even if the three lads don't sign, like the amount of money we saved on, well, not saved, but like we've saved in terms of not giving them contracts. Matip gone, Naby gone,
Thiago, Matip.
Thiago gone, Ox gone. Like, there's money there, man. Just go out and we're not expecting 5-6 signings. Go out there and bring the best players with the great best potential. And the data lads know exactly and say it. And I'm pretty sure Skelia ticks a lot of the great areas that Liverpool needs. Great potential, 23, 24 years old as well. Going to be one of the best wingers in world football if he continues his great development that he showed at Napoli over the last couple of years. Just go out and do it, man. With Liverpool, we should expect and we demand the best players, and we want to be winning competitions. We want to be winning the Premier League on a consistent basis. Enough of just waiting around, please, as a football club. Go out there and do it.
Yeah, 100% agree with you as well. But of course, guys, let us know your guys' thoughts, of course, in the comments. If anybody's just tuning in as well, we'll rerun, of course, all the news and bits and pieces anyway. But Hero says, actually, let me quickly go back up and says, North Red's comment, record breaker Salah overlooked for player of the month. Yeah, don't even get going on that. Ridiculous. Hero says, does anyone think any of the three will still sign new deals? I'll ask you, Jack, on
that. It's all well and good, mate. It's a bit of the whole football club and the players are all doing a massive game of poker, if I'm being honest. The players going into mix zones, commenting on the deals and all that. But it could be behind closed doors. We don't know. Liverpool might have just given them contract offers. And if they're not happy to accept those offers or whatnot, then sounds move on. Like, I'm done of waiting around for players and that. Like, Liverpool certainly would have offered them
I think
contract.
all of us are getting sick and tired of it, though. Now.
Yeah, and Arne Slot, he's going to be tired. He's already been in the job 6 months. Like, he's just going to be like, lads, at the end of the day, and of course, the highly talented players, Trent, Salah, and Van Dijk. But at the end of the day, Liverpool will continue to be here, regardless of no players bigger than the football club. As much, we're not going to be held to ransom for certain individual players in the squad wanting, like, and as we said in data departments, Liverpool have got this policy, of course, and rightly so. We don't want to be given big contracts out. Of course, there is going to be the exception of Salah and Van Dijk. But let's talk about it. They're not 26, they're not 25, they're not Skelia's age. They're coming to the twilight of their career now. And I think
the problem is with that, though, they are currently the best in their position.
Yeah.
That's the only problem. Like, again, if Virgil van Dijk was a 33-year-old defender that you're keeping on your books, that's your third, maybe second choice centre half. Yeah, you'd never do this. But the problem is now Mo Salah and Virgil van Dijk, they're showing no signs of slowing down. And I think that's something, like, again, the club, I think, wanted to a little bit see, because again, that would play advantage into their hands. Yeah. But I do think they are the best in quality, and I think we worked it out. If all of them leave, like, Liverpool would save like so much. Like I think it's 38 million pound a week, or a year. I think it is in contracts. But I'm like, you can't even get a Trent replacement for 38 million pounds, let alone a Virgil van Dijk or a Mohamed Salah. And that is something that we do need to sort out.
And this is the club's fault for just being so complacent over the last couple of years, even under Jurgen Klopp as well. Like it's whatever does happen. It's not the players' fault if they leave on a free. It's the clubs. Like, of course, the players, and as I said, like the players, Van Dijk and Salah publicly, as we've said over the last months, we've all seen they want to stay. Trent certainly probably wants to stay, but he said he doesn't want to comment in the public because, especially if it does get messy from all three players' point of view, they're professional. They'll do as much as they possibly can, but probably.
I think with Trent though, sorry to interrupt. Yeah. I think with Trent, it's already become messy. The Madrid bid. Yeah. There's no chance in hell Real Madrid put that bid in unless there's encouragement some way. And where's the encouragement from? Trent and his camp.
And Trent's camp maybe might have just said to the club, like, I want to get something for you in terms of if Trent wants to go, like, and he doesn't want to sign, then he's probably encouraged Real Madrid. And that's like fair bit. Like, Trent might come at the end of the year and say, right, the club were rejecting bids from Real Madrid. So there's a lot.
I think Carragher said it, didn't he? He said, like, on Trent's side, it looks good because now if they do leave in the summer on a free, they can turn around and go, oh, Liverpool rejected a bid of 20 million, for him. And it's like, well, you're never going to accept 20 million for Trent. Either way, either you're going to get him for 6 months.
Money though, lads. Like, obviously, it's like game poker. We're not going to accept the first offer. Like, there's got to obviously be a bit of a brinkmanship from all clubs involved. Similar with obviously other teams coming in as well. But there's probably a lot that we don't know of. But certainly, as a football club, we've just got to start acting like a proper football club. At the end of the day, Arne Slot's will put his foot down eventually. Certainly, he'll tell Richard Hughes as well, lads, if you can't get them done, we need to be looking for the future as well. And that includes getting the Virgil van Dijk replacements as well. Like, we need to be making a move. Obviously, Ibu is the long-term successor, of course, if he can stay fit. He's only 25, Ibu. We know how good he is. Now go and get another Ibu Konate into the club. Because if Quanza's development doesn't continue to improve, then we certainly need to probably get another two centre-halves in as well. So,
yeah, 100%. I agree with you on that as well. Of course, guys, get your comments in as well. We read everyone's comments out. Could this work as maybe a swap deal? Nunes or Chiesa go the other way? I think as we mentioned earlier, Anthony, I think that's definitely a possibility. Graham says as much as the new signing of Khvicha Kvaratskhelia would be good, the continued contract situation will lead to him leaving in the summer. I think this potential signing is the writing on the wall, possibly. Yeah, 100% could be. As well, Hero says quality to come in to comply with the quality we produce the young teams. Yeah, exactly. Well, you look at Ben Doak, for example. Ben Doak has a tremendous amount of talent, but again, the club seems like 30 million for him. I think again the club bites their hand off. I know they've said, oh look, we have a price of 30 million. Of course, the club could easily turn around and go, no, we want to keep him. But I think if Liverpool do get that bid of 25 million, 30 million. They snatch that easily.
Yeah, this isn't a Liverpool of 10 years ago where we weren't competing for top titles on a consistent basis. This is peak Liverpool now, where we've got peak Salah, peak Van Dijk, peak Alisson. Like, they're all playing some of the best players in their positions. As I said, 10 years ago, maybe you could have brought in a Ben Doak, or you could have brought in a Harvey Elliott, and they could have been one of the main starters in the squad because we were absolutely naff in certain areas. Like, Gerrard carried this football club for many of a year when he was surrounded by absolute dross. It's very different now. We've got and there's a lot of work to be done. And January, we can't be allowed and being complicit in terms of just allowing us to just have another 30 days in the transfer window where we do no business. And especially if whatever happens at the end of this year, we're running into dangerous territory, really, if I'm being honest.
Yeah.
Whatever happens with the three lads with the contracts, but there needs to be business done. There needs to.
Well, we need to future-proof positions. We've done that, I think, decently well in the future in the forward area. Again, if we get Khvicha, again, that's another top quality talent going up forward. But again, you look at I think if you strip back Liverpool's starting 11. And you go, right, there's your second team. Where can that second team go?
Yeah.
I think the second team would struggle for Champions League. And that's that. again, that might be something, again, controversial. But I think, again, you look at goalkeeper, obviously Keller, I think it is a very good backup. Right back, obviously Connor Bradley sound. Centre halves, everyone's injured.
Well, with the goalkeeper department, we brought in Mavrashvili come at the end of the season, and he's the best young goalkeeper in Wales football. Like he tops all the charts, statistics, and data analysis. He's a proper data signing, Mavrashvili. Like you look at Kostas, we've been wanting more from Kostas, but last night again showed wasn't good enough. How many opportunities did he have down that left hand side and on the corners to whip in a good ball into the penalty box? You look at a lad at Fulham, Robinson. He's 26 years old. Bring him in. He's quality. He's absolutely quality. If you can't get Kerkez or if you can't get Aitan Yuri or someone at that level, go out and get Robinson from Fulham. Bring in the quality. Because as we mentioned with Van Dijk, we need to bring in the heir to Van Dijk's throne in the next 12 months. If we can't get a deal sorted, then the whole of Europe knows, oh, Liverpool have lost Van Dijk or they haven't signed Van Dijk down. They need to go out and get a replacement. And then the value of every top young centre-half or established centre-half in Europe goes through the roof. Same with Robbo. We need a long-term replacement to Robbo. We've not got that. Kostas isn't good enough. I'm sorry. It might be harsh, but hopefully Richard Hughes and Arne Slot might be just looking at that squad, as you mentioned, with that second team for Liverpool and going, I don't make some of these lads. He won't publicly say it, but he's probably sat in his office looking at his board and transfers and going, I can't do much with this.
Well, this is the thing. This is the thing that when we speak about in terms of, again, the contract signings, I think all of us have said Liverpool need to sign 3 or 4 players. That's without the contract problems. You know, if Liverpool do lose a Virgil van Dijk, a Mo Salah, a Trent Alexander-Arnold, that's then another 3 signings that we need to go out and make. And we're not talking about...
That's 3 first team signings.
Exactly, 100%. Like, we top quality... Like, it's top quality signings we need to make. And, you know, look at last summer. We all said it. Liverpool needed a centre-back. Look at now. We're struggling with centre-back problems. Again, we're having to play with Tarawendo at centre-back because we don't have...
That's an embarrassment with Liverpool, lad. We've been here with Fabinho and Henderson playing the centre-half, lad. Like if it wasn't for Jurgen Klopp, where would we be as a football club prior to him coming to the club? Like, and this is where Klopp himself should have been a lot more honest in press conferences. Just said, but of course, and this is where he ran out of energy. He probably had so many debates with FSG and the people running the club going, I can't turn everything into I can only do what I can. And hence why Jurgen Klopp was tired, because he had to keep on going back to the well with like 20 million in transfer funds every single window. He's not a miracle worker, Jurgen Klopp. He's a football manager. And this is what Arne Slot is as well. He's a head coach. And obviously he would have been under some illusion, really, or negotiations of coming to Liverpool. But Arne Slot, give it 2 years. He might pack it in if the club don't back him. Like, he's come in with a mandate, and that's to win Liverpool trophies and get Liverpool to be continuing to be competitive in the league as well. Like, you've got Forest, you got Bournemouth, you got Brighton, all spending money. Of course, they're wanting to get up to Liverpool's level. But come what if Forest beat us on Tuesday? They're only 3 points behind us.
Yeah, no. Oh, Jesus Christ, I don't even think about that. Anyway, but let me quickly go back up, read people's comments. I hope Salah stays in signing a new contract. Good luck for that. Hero says we move on and grow stronger as well. I hope Liverpool signing 2 players to win the Premier League title. Good luck for that as well. Anthony says if Klopp was still in charge, you think they would have signed already? Klopp was in charge and they didn't sign.
He was there for like 7-8 years. So.
Well, the thing is, he got, he's got his wish in terms of, again, Mo Salah signed that deal, what was it, 3 years ago, or 2 years ago. So he got the big contract sorted. But then again, I've said this on previous streams. There's no way nobody at Liverpool looked at it and gone, you do realise Mo Salah, Virgil van Dijk, and Trent Alexander-Arnold's contracts all run out in the same summer, and everyone's like, "Nah, we didn't know that." It's like, what are we playing at?
This is, and just dawning on me as well, though, chat. with regards to the negotiations for the other three lads at the club currently, if I'm in their camp or if I'm those players, Van Dijk, how many times last season and the year before, this squad needs help in the transfer market? He was speaking to the press. He was saying, like, the squad needs
Constantly
improvement.
talking about it.
Yeah, and that's the captain of this football club. It's like with Steven Gerrard 10 years ago when he was playing for Liverpool. Like it's the captain. If Virgil van Dijk wants signings, go out there and do it, Liverpool. Like, because that's a massive indictment in terms of you've got your captain going, yeah, we need to, and the club's not actively looking to do it. Like, and in terms of negotiating with new contracts, if I'm Salah and Trent and Van Dijk, I'm telling the board or I'm telling Arne Slot, I need to see some ambition. Like, you've got to think of the player's perspective as well. The club needs to be ambitious in the transfer market and to very much get those players on side. If I'm them, I'm saying to the club, go out there and spend the money. I want to be in the best position as a player to be winning league titles. Salah's already been on record saying he wants to win Liverpool the league title this season. Go out there and help the lads. Stop penny pinching on certain areas of the pitch. Stop allowing players to run down to like 6 months on the contract. Fair enough. If you were fringe players, we're talking about 3 players, the best in the world.
Apparently, David Ornstein has been on NBC and given a vocal interview on Khvicha stuff. So people are saying it's sounding very promising for Liverpool.
Mavrashvili doesn't tweet that, lads. I'm being honest. It's Mavrashvili. He's probably his best mate. Obviously, they're very close. It's very highly publicised. Both international teammates. Agent Mavrashvili, go ahead, son.
Well, so to answer Raz's comment, of course, in terms of PSG. So Fabrizio Romano, I think yesterday exclusively reported that he had started talks with PSG, or his camp had started talking to PSG. Of course, obviously Napoli, I think, are aware in terms of, again, him wanting to leave and so on as well. But of course, obviously the news coming out with Liverpool is obviously breaking news tonight. So, of course, obviously that's a good thing for us, hopefully, anyway. But Damo says, I think Robinson at Fulham turns 28 at the end of the season, so probably too old to spend big on as well. Again, we'd have to know his contract situation. To be fair as well, but Anthony puts, I think Elliott, Doak and Endo will be sold in the summer. I think Doak and Endo maybe. I think Elliott, again, I still think it would be a mistake letting him go, personally. Anyway, but big up Kev.
Oh, was it big up lad? Was it because Marseille were in for Endo? Was it last season?
Yeah,
like they wanted him, and like I think Liverpool wanted 10, 15 million.
So was it Spurs' was it Hoyland or
Hoyland?
Hoyland? I don't know. Everybody knows what I'm going on about the Denmark sentiment. They end up signing, but yeah, for God's sake, Kev, fucking Kvara, pick up Luke as well. Can he play centre back? But we'll have to see. Maybe he can play inverted centre back like we tried to do yesterday. A point throughout the game. Damo says, how could anyone refuse Virgil if he looks you in the eye and asks you, calms you like for something? Well, like at the minute, FSG and Richard Hughes and Michael Edwards are at the minute saying no. At the minute, which
the fan base is already and has been irate over the last couple of seasons. But then everyone gets gatekeeped and saying, "Oh, you expect too much." It's like, how can you want more transfers when we're top of the league, top of the Champions League? That's well and good. Football's a 12 a 12-9
you can't
cycle
stand still in football.
You can never stand still. You can never have enough good footballers as well.
I think you can even go back, like you spoke about it in terms of Fergie would sign, the next best thing in the league, or go and sign like a Rio Ferdinand, go and sign Robin van Persie, go and sign like Rooney, like the next best.
City will spend big this January, mate. But there's something big coming for City, regardless of whatever happens off the pitch. But if that gets all sorted and boxed off and nothing happens, they will spend lots of money because they need to replace Kevin De Bruyne. They need to get another striker, Marmoush, if he comes in. They need to replace. They need to get better players. I think Grealish has gone from City, so City will spend money, and it'll be another case of City have spent money. Now Liverpool go and spend money, because let's not kid ourselves. Liverpool have got money. We just refuse to spend it, and we do.
Yeah, no, absolutely, 100% agree with you. I'm just got to take Luke. I heard a rumor Liverpool are after Van Hink.
No comment.
Wouldn't mind the signing from Napoli, but we needed defensive options. For me, obviously left back, centre back, and another midfielder. Would agree. Absolutely. Heard that Liverpool potentially in the summer were are waiting to buy out clause for Tchouaméni and Henry and this. For God's sake,
What are you chatting there? What waffle are you chatting, Luke? Lads?
No, it's just the Henry part. For God's sake, Luke, go to bed, lad.
Yeah.
But if anybody's just tuning in anyway and wondering what we are talking about, because there is 35 people in right now. So of course, David Ornstein put this obviously post out again. Obviously, you guys can read it. Of course, saying that Liverpool consider a move to sign obviously Khvicha Kvaratskhelia if he leaves Napoli in January. This was backed up by Paul Joyce as well, saying that Liverpool are monitoring the situation of Napoli winger Khvicha Kvaratskhelia and may decide to act if the Georgia star looks to leave this month as well. So again, overall, positive signs for Liverpool. But still, I wonder whether or not it will take somebody to leave, and whether that's a Harvey Elliott, a Darwin Núñez, a Federico Chiesa. Just seen it. They're kind of saving up his money to help John Henry and not buying a PNG for his background. No, this motherfucker wouldn't work at the start of the show. Again, Jack would know the pain. So, F you, Kev. But yeah, hopefully having a good day. Do you
Kev
think
hasn't got a big enough green screen? Just tell him, Kev, get a bigger green screen. Get
a bigger green screen, mate. Do you think Chiesa might go the other way and 40 mil potentially? I think that's definitely an option for sure. Anyway, you little rat. Do Napoli need to make money? I don't think so, because of course they're going to have Osimhen's money at some point from a big team. Because I think whoever doesn't get whoever doesn't get Isak, I think will go for Osimhen. So whether that's Arsenal or Chelsea, it's another guess. I think.
I'd take both of them from Napoli, even being honest. Like
Jesus Christ, Kev! I'm not even bringing that comment up. What the? Where's that comment?
Kev must be in on the whiskey. I don't know, but in terms of like bringing in like the quality as well, though, you will, and because I tell you what, come at the end of the season, there's a lot of work to do. And I'm pretty sure Richard Hughes has come into the football club and went, wow, like he's like, I've got to deal with these 3 contracts, and it's not just 3 contracts; it's 3 of the biggest contracts at Liverpool. It's the 3 ones for the 3 big main Liverpool players. And then he's probably gone, what, like, we had a year of George Scamacca doing absolutely nothing. For the Macca deal, he had to just agree a buyout, like the buyout clause.
He didn't do the Macca deal.
Oh, was it not him?
It was Julian Ward.
Oh, Julian Ward.
Julian Ward stayed on longer at the football club to do the Macca deal and started the Szoboszlai deal. So realistically, he did a Gravenberch deal and a Wataru deal, and that was it. You know, he pretty much had like 12 months paid by Liverpool doing nothing, realistically. But Jack, can you pronounce his name, please?
Kvaratskhelia.
There you go. I'm on life. No whiskey taken. Lol. Anyway, but I hope you're doing well, Kev. Anyway, but well, that's good. Thought Chiesa and Núñez for Osimhen and Kvaratskhelia. No, absolutely not.
Go ahead, Tony. Yeah, let's get that deal in, lodge it in, and they'll probably Napoli just go, "You're having a giraffe."
I do think, though. I think
there's deals to be made with Chiesa, though.
I think Chiesa, even Núñez. I think there might be even a case in that, because you look at it. I know, obviously, Lukaku is at Napoli, but you know, if they could get a Darwin Núñez, and obviously we get Khvicha Kvaratskhelia in that aspect of things, I think they would take that. You know, and I do think they would.
Like Scott McTominay has went to the Serie A and become one of the mainstays in that league, mate. He's absolutely battered it. Like who is it that's getting Stuart Billing in?
Napoli.
I'm telling you, mate. Like the Serie A is not what it used to be in the 2000s. We all know that. Like it was the
Well,
hotbed of talent.
there were certain enhancements in that time as well, but we don't want to talk about that.
Packet extra Haribo and all that. But yeah, but now you're looking at players like the Italian. Like, Rashford looks like he's going to AC Milan, and I tell you, if you got him and Leao on playing in the team, and AC Milan are fifth or sixth in the league now, but it's very close in Serie A in terms of the league title as well. Yeah, they need money. They need money. So
I'd agree with Kev, but the Italian league is coming back stronger, lads. TV money has won eye-opener. Well, to be fair, you look at it, and people go, "Oh, you surely think the Spanish league, the Premier League, they would have the most teams in Europe." No, it's Italy. The fact that it's Italian teams had 10 teams in Europe. Massive. From that league, that's huge. The fact that again, Atalanta, for again last season, we looked at them and went, it'll be a tough game, but we expect to beat them. They battered us, at Anfield, and since then they've been on one hell of a leap forward. And I think they're only 3 points off the top of Serie A at the moment as well. So again, it is probably one of when we talk about a competitive league, the Serie A is probably up there in terms of being competitive.
And it's all being funded by all the Premier League players, lads. I'm telling you. These Stu Billings. I'm telling you now, he'll go to the Italian league and all the Italian centre halves to go, you up? Because you need a step ladder to defend Stuart Billing. I know certainly I would. And you're in a set piece. He's about 10 foot. It's like Peter Crouch going to
just look up hello.
No, it's like when you speak, when you listen to the AC Milan players in 2007, you were absolutely petrified after the game. You were like, yeah, we were expecting Peter Crouch to play because he said at the time, there's nothing like him in Serie A. There honestly wasn't. You were like, he's very good. So it's mad.
Bloody hell. Right. Well, guys, we are going to leave it there for tonight, guys. And a big thank you for everyone to tuning in. Obviously, to the breaking news. Obviously, big thank you to Jack. Jack, have you got anything to say before we do shoot off?
Liverpool, spend some money this window, please. Thank you very much. There you go.
I'm surprised. Where's the money, John? I'm surprised that hasn't been in the chat either. Luke, I'm disappointed.
Yeah.
Where's the contracts, John? Where's the contracts, John? Give them their deals.
Tell Luke to ask his mate about Kvaratskhelia, lad. Obviously, Luke, Sunday league. Someone that knows him. So put a word in, lad. There you
go. Sean Dyche, anyone? No, absolutely not. Yeah. A bunch of pizza eating. Yeah, I'd agree. Where's the money, John? Where's the contracts, John? Yeah, absolutely. Anyway, but look, guys, we're going to leave it there for tonight. A big thank you to everyone for tuning in to, of course, the breaking news show. Obviously, Khvicha Kvaratskhelia, Liverpool looking like, again, they could be in the mix to go and sign him. And hopefully we'll hear some news, hopefully in the next couple of days that's going to be positive and Liverpool signing him. Anyway, but if there is any news, we'll be live straight forward anyway. But until next time, that's going to be it from us. We'll be live tomorrow with the Accrington preview. But until then, we'll see you guys later. Ta-ra.
Swear we got beat by them. Oh no.